How you doing? This is the guy from Pittsburgh. Well, the clock is ticking, and every day it ticks, something happens. Well, in this case, the clock has struck. And here's the chief culprit himself. The guy is responsible for this. Barack Obama. And what is he responsible, you ask? What's he responsible for? Well, seems like we got a case of Ebola in this country. And here it is, ABC News. There you go. First confirmed case of Ebola in the United States, patient in Texas at Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital. And my question is, here you go, the guy from the CDC and the White House today told us all is well, all is well. Here's the guy from the CDC. Now, I want to know one thing. And let me find this picture to show you. First of all, doing this right here ain't gonna help you. That ain't gonna do nothing. Might make people aware of Ebola, but I don't think there's not a lot of people in the world that ain't aware of Ebola right now. And here's your map. Here's your map of Ebola cases around the world. There you go. Confirmed Ebola cases. Every country with confirmed cases. And one United States, one in Senegal, 876 in Guinea, 1,800 in Sierra Leone, 914 in Liberia, 19 in Nigeria, and a separate outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, 68 cases. So, you had this guy here, I don't know who he is, but here we go. I like what he says here. There he goes. Says, Ebola's here. And then you had, let me find this here. There's it, the picture I want. Hold on. Oh yeah, here we go. How the U.S. screwed up in the fight against Ebola. And here is Business Week. Ebola is coming. The U.S. had a chance to stop the virus in its tracks. It missed. Well, Ebola's here. And you got the White House saying that infection is 7 days. Doesn't spread before people exhibit symptoms, so passengers on his flight are at zero risk. People ought to be monitored for the fever of those who he came in contact between September 24th and 28th. American bureaucracy has slowed research into experimental therapies may help treat the virus. Now I want to know something. You got all these countries. Just show you the map. All these countries got Ebola. Yeah, well, they got Ebola too, I guess. Because he affects everything. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4 countries there with major cases plus one. I don't know what happened to Senegal. I think they may have shut their borders too, like Sierra Leone. All these countries. British Airways has banned for 2 months anybody coming from Liberia or Nigeria. Why aren't we doing the same? Why isn't American Airlines, Continental, whatever it is, United, US Air, Delta, Mexicana, why aren't the airlines in this country saying, you come from Africa, West Africa, you ain't coming in here? One of the problems with this is fairness. Years ago, our public health officials, if you came from an area where people had an epidemic, they would test you when you came into the country, and they'd say, you're sick. You ain't getting off the boat. You ain't getting off the plane. You ain't getting off the ship. You ain't coming here. Go back. They'd send them back. But leftists and Democrats said, that's not fair. That's discriminatory. And particularly with AIDS patients. So it's not fair, it's discriminatory, so you let people in here with drug-resistant TB, typhus, cholera, all kinds of horrible polio, all kinds of diseases. And they also allow illegal alien children to come in with typhus, all kinds of diseases. Those kids have disappeared. I don't know where they are. Nobody else knows either. And the Obama administration isn't telling. And this guy from the CDC, he wouldn't tell anybody where the plane was from, who the guy was, whether he was in America or not, what plane it was, what airline it was. What are they hiding? If it's not able to be communicated in the air while you're on the plane, then what's the deep, dark secret? Oh, we can't get it for being on a plane, but we won't tell you what plane it was. We won't tell you what airline it is. Does that make sense to you? Or are they hiding something? And they're saying it takes 7 days for symptoms to develop. This guy got off the plane. He was sick in 4 days. Then he goes to the hospital. I'm sick. They say, well, you're not sick enough. Go home. He goes home. He comes back in 4 more days. He's sick as a dog. They stick him in an ambulance. And now the ambulance workers are quarantined. They're in a box to check them for 21 days, see if they get Ebola. I guess they're real thrilled about that. But the guy in charge of all this, the guy who misses intelligence briefings 50% of the time, he lets people into the country. We should be banning anybody from these countries until the outbreak is stopped. We don't need an epidemic of Ebola in this country. And I don't really care what the CDC says. If I were on that plane, I'd be having a large cow knowing that some guy with Ebola was on the plane with me. And I bet you talk to the average American out there, or maybe the Liberian, Nigerian, or guys who come from that country were already here, they'd be having a cow too. So we need to do what the British did, who had common sense. If you come from those countries, we ain't going to fly you out of there. You're going to stay home. And if you got Ebola, you're either going to go to the doctor or you're going to die. But you ain't coming to our country. And that's what we need here. We need someone with some common sense in administration or at the airline to say, sorry, but you ain't coming here with Ebola. But common sense in the Obama administration must be one of those oxymorons or something. I don't expect it anytime soon between now and the next presidential election. And maybe people have common sense and vote Republican like they should have last time. That was a mistake. Shouldn't chew ice while I'm doing the video. And I'll make a prediction. I don't believe health officials when they say the sky is not falling, because we've been lied to too many times. But I'll make a prediction here and now. If we get an epidemic in this country because of some guy coming from Liberia on a plane, or if more guys come from West Africa on planes and they got Ebola, there's going to be hell to pay. And in 39 days, the GOP is probably going to get elected to control both houses of Congress. And if we get an epidemic in this country, you can bet dimes of dollar bills that if they don't get infected, the guy occupying the Swiss cheese house is going to be impeached. Forget about Benghazi. Forget about the holder gun thing. I can't remember what it was called right now. Forget about all the other fails that Obama has done. But when if people start getting sick and dying in this country from this stuff, and they're saying, oh, with treatment now, the mortality rate's only 60%. Well, you know what? If you got Ebola, are you thinking, I got a 40% chance of living? That's worse odds than going to Vegas. You're not going to be thinking, I got 40% chance of living, 60% chance to die. You're going to be thinking, I got Ebola. And it's because they let some bastard in here who had it, and he gave it to other people, and they gave it to other people, and they gave it to other people. And yeah, they can isolate them, but what if this guy saw 40, 50 people, and they got kids, and they give it to everybody in their family, and that's how they spread epidemics in the first place in Africa. It's time to stop this nonsense and ban all international flights to and from these infected countries until the outbreak is stopped. Alright, this is a guy from Pittsburgh, Free Art Bell, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.